Weird. Why does it say? Okay. Let me take this off. How are you, Donna? Can you hear me? I don't know why that's still saying 5, but it's all right. I am doing well. My is saying episode 5, but it should say um episode 6. So I don't know why it's still doing that, but it's all good. It is all good. So we'll wait a few minutes and then we'll get started. Did you see the email that I not email, no, the text that I had sent you earlier about Mr. Hargrove? Yeah, 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 yeah. You didn't say I'll resend it to you. It's it's early, so for October. So no worries, no worries. But when you did you set up notification on YouTube? Did it allow you to set that up? I think a few people had issues the other week. So I'm just curious if it notified you on on YouTube when I started the live. I'm still working out a few kinks. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. How's the weather where you are? Wasn't too bad. Okay. So I don't know. I have to look into that too. Do you have it set to for notifications? Do you know? Because it should have been set up to take notifications. But if not, you're here, so we're not going to worry about it. But we're going to go ahead and get started today. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is She Still Shines, episode 5, episode 6, excuse me. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started. If this is your first time here, welcome. If not, then welcome back. Please, when you come in, just drop in where you are calling in from. And I would also like to start off a little different. Just tell me how your day has been since we talked last week. And if you were able to journal, or if you got the book and what you think about it, and or any of those things that we've talked to up to this point. So I just want to see what your pulse is like, and where everybody's at, and how you're feeling, and all that good stuff. So yeah. Hey, cousin, how are you, Regina? Hope all is well. Hope all is well with you. Welcome to She Still Shines Live. And we're just getting started. So if you just want to drop where you're calling in from, that will be good. Hey, Maisha, how are you? Thank you for sharing the link. And that's good. That's good. So, and then after we get to the 10th episode, I'm going to have my little own party. And so when whoever brings or invites the most guests will probably get a little treat from me, a little love token in the mail. So I'm excited. But today, so as most of you know, I am Roxanne, aka Roxy. Just depending on how you know me. I have family on, then we got, everybody on here is family. So, everybody calls me Roxy for the most part. So we're just going to keep it there. So tonight we're going to talk about choosing you, the power of walking in your worth, from self-doubt to self-worth. And essentially, sorry. And essentially, I want to know, when was the moment you realized you deserve more for yourself? Because we're so good at doing and taking care of others, and but when did you realize that you are enough and it's time to start believing it? So drop some love in the chat. Let me know that you knew, or when you realized that you were enough and that you mattered and you deserve more out of this wonderful thing called life that we have, going on. So for me, I realized that um, I deserved more probably when I turned 50 and realized that many of the things that I had survived, I was still here to see 50 come in. You know, we've had cousins and family and friends, and, they can't say that. But God has kept me a long, mighty long way. And so I also came to realize it as I've gotten older and my daughter went off to college and then the Navy, that I deserve to live the life that I want to now. I did what I did for my baby. She's out living her best life. So now it's my turn to live my best life and do it with no shame. Because, as women, we tend to feel guilty about all kinds of things. When we buy ourselves something new and you go and treat yourself to something to eat, and we're always, feeling like we have to, do for others. But the moment, when did you realize that you deserve more for yourself? And if you all can hear me, just drop a one so that I know you all can hear me. And if I need to adjust the volume, let me know. I will do that. Um, I'll turn it up on my end. So, can you all hear me? Okay. So, Regina can hear me. Donna can hear me. Okay, good. So, and either of you or Maisha, do you remember that moment when you realized that you deserve more for yourself? I learned this 20 years ago. I'm still working on it. Removing and rebuilding certain areas of my life. Well, that's fair. And that's 20 years ago. That's awesome. What anything you want to share in particular about removing and rebuilding and how it's helped you to elevate yourself, or how you feel better about those things having been removed as you are rebuilding your life? And Donna or Regina, does either of you want to share? And if you're still trying to figure it out, let me just put out there that I believe you deserve more. You deserve any and everything that you want in this life. And if you don't have it, continue to keep reaching for it and going for it, because you certainly deserve it. So, another time for me that I remember or realize I deserve more is when I met my husband, my current husband. And I say that because, we've all probably dated people or been married once or twice or whatever the situation is. And you're in it and you're like, oh, okay, this is it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. This is better. And then you get out of that situation and you're like, what in the entire world just happened? And you're like, and I thought that was the one. And then that was the one. But when I met my husband, my current husband, things were just different. It wasn't a rush of everything. It wasn't me feeling like I had to pour into him. He poured into me. We had conversations. We took it slow. We didn't introduce, his kids were smaller. My bonus babies were smaller. Tiffany was a young adult. But even her being a young adult, um, it I took it a little bit slower. Um, and anybody that knows me, my dad was my heart. I don't bring anybody around my dad. And my family, you all know it. Don't think I had brought anybody around um, prior to my first husband. So even that was like, everybody's like, what? Something's going on with Rox. She don't bring nobody home. So that's when I realized I deserved more. I deserved someone that wanted to hang out with me. I deserved somebody that wanted to do the things that I liked and was a gentleman and treated me like a lady and all of those things. So, and almost 7 years in, we're still at it. So when I met him, it's going to be almost 13, 12 or 13 years ago. I realized then that it was okay for me to be okay. And I know sometimes that might sound a little weird, but it was okay for me to be okay. Um, and so let's see, 20 years ago, and Donna said when she decided to divorce her children's father, and I made a lot of changes. I removed certain people out of my life that was determined to keep me in a place that wasn't meant for me. Well, that's fair, and that's good. And I'm sure that took some strength and some soul searching, didn't it, Maisha? And then Regina says, I'm in my elimination stage, not holding on to anything or anyone that doesn't serve a positive purpose in my life, striving for a better understanding of who I am. And Aisha said, I'm still looking for that safe place. Yeah, I get it. And that safe place is when we look in, then we tend to have a barrier up. People that don't even look like they're going to serve us, have a positive purpose in our life. We tend to just kind of block them. And they sense something to be like, oh, yeah, no, she's not going to take my mess. So let me just go on about my day. And, you know, so that's awesome. And you'll find it, Maisha. You definitely will. So, so for today, I just want everybody to kind of think about um, choosing myself wasn't easy, but it changed everything. And then if you're journaling on this journey with me, then journal. Um, and you would use, when you start choosing you, you change the direction of your legacy. So if you're journaling and you want to write on that, that'd be awesome. Or if you want to share here, you can. But when you start choosing you, you change the direction of your legacy. And I think that's a powerful statement because then we see what we're doing differently within our family, what we're doing differently within our friends and associations that we have. And whether it's at church, whether it's at work, whether it's just encountering strangers on the street and how we even interact with them. Um, we just learn to do things differently. And then that walk, people don't try to come knock on that door because we just don't have that same look that we used to have. We have a different pep in our step, and just move about differently in how we talk and how we just are calm about it and don't let anything upset us that shouldn't. Like they say, don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. So, you know, and one of my other mottos is speak less, be blessed. Sometimes conversations just don't need to be had. Sometimes getting worked up and mad and things of that is just not worth it. So why give your energy to things that are not serving you a purpose, right? Um, so what at what cost, or what do you think the cost is of not choosing yourself? What does that look like to you? Acquiring self love is the greatest love of all. I agree. I agree on that. Um, so what do you think when what is the cost of not choosing yourself? Or if or even now, if there's still moments when you don't choose yourself, what has there been a major impact? Have you like, darn it, I forgot that I wasn't doing this? And you don't beat yourself up, but you're like, okay, let me breathe, let me, focus, let me talk myself through it, and just make sure that I know what my trigger was, or whatever it was that made you not choose yourself in that moment. Um, I know for me, when it comes to family, and we all have family and we love our family, but sometimes, they can be a trigger because you do love them so deeply and you want the best for them. And, but sometimes we just have conversations or we say things that we don't mean, but because it's family, they just get you right here. You're like, "Ugh, I let them do it again. I let it happen again. Stop it." Type of thing. But that's because of the love that you have for them. So, heartache, pain, sweat, and tears. Yep, yep. So, and I truly do understand that. So now let's kind of share how self-worth shifts your relationships, decisions, and future. So knowing when you've not chosen yourself, and then you come back to, you snap out of it. How does that look now that you're choosing yourself in your current relationships and your friendships and your work relationships? Are you, you know, more grounded and centered? Do you have that person that you can talk to? Or again, like I asked earlier, I'm big on journaling. I'm big on reading. I love to listen to music. Music is one of those things that, for me, it just calms my soul. I'm just a music person at heart. So I like all kinds of music, and depending on what it is, sometimes I just need something to just settle down. I'll put on some jazz, or and light a candle and have me an adult beverage and just sit with my feet up on my deck and just chill. And sometimes I'll journal, and sometimes I'll just sit there with my eyes closed and just meditate and bask in that peace. And that's what self-worth looks like for me, and having that shift that I've been working so hard to continue to do and maintain. And, because there are a lot of things that have transpired in my life, but I'm moving beyond them. I've learned to love. I love to learn to forgive and let people be who they're going to be, but they don't have to be in my space. So, anybody else? Awesome, awesome. Hello, T. You're right on time. Whenever you get here, you're right on time. We're just talking about loving ourselves and or choosing ourselves, and from going from self-doubt to self-worth, and knowing that we are enough. And when we realize that we are enough, or are there times when, you know, and we were just finished discussing the cost of not choosing yourself, because sometimes it happens. It's not intentional, but sometimes, it could be because you're just tired. You've been ripping and running, and then you haven't, thought about things. And then that one little thing just, kind of triggers you. But it's okay as long as you let yourself have that moment. Don't beat yourself up and go right on back to how you were. And Regina says, I'm still learning that it's okay to be good to myself. No explanations, unbothered, and able to smile and laugh again. Well, that's fair. Because there are a lot of people that make you feel guilty, or try to anyway, about taking care of yourself and loving yourself and being one with yourself. And are any of you all able to go to dinner by yourselves, or go to a movie by yourselves and just enjoy your own company? Um, that's hard for some people. Me, myself, and I, we love all three of us. So it's, and before I met my husband, I had no problems going to eat dinner by myself. And some of my friends be like, "You went and ate dinner by yourself?" Yeah. And we had a good time, had a good conversation, had a nice glass of wine, and I ain't have to fight with nobody about where I was going or what we were going to eat. I was good with it. I've even gone to the movies by myself. People are like, "You went to the movies by yourself?" Indeed I did. And cracked up and kikied it up, had my popcorn, and people know when I get tickled, sometimes I can't stop myself from laughing, but I had a darn good time. So you just have to do what works for you and what's best for you, right? So, choosing you, the power of walking in your worth. Truth number one, your worth is not up for debate, right? We're going to keep that right here in the forefront of our minds from here forward. Truth number one, your worth is not up for debate at all. Number two, self worth is built in small daily choices. So it is a choice. It is a choice to make the decision if you're going to take care of self, if you're going to put your self worth in front of everything and everybody, or if you're going to continue to be that people pleaser, I guess is a good way to put it. Because as women and nurturers, we do it. It just is our nature. However, we still have to remember you can't pour from an empty glass. We still have to pour back into ourselves. We still have to give ourselves, and yes, Maisha, balance. We have to learn to balance in that work life balance, family balance, relationships. We still have to, and it's okay to take care of and love yourself and go sit in that bubble bath and turn on some music and, you know, turn off all the noise, all those things. It is definitely okay to do that. And then, truth number three, when you honor yourself, you teach others how to honor you. And that's a huge, huge thing. It's just probably another way of saying you treat people how to treat you. So if you accept unkind words and disrespect, they're going to continue to do it. But when you demonstrate that you have a level of self worth that cannot be broken, people see that and then they start to shift. Either they're going to shift or they're going to shift on out the door. And sometimes that's okay if that's where they go. But we don't let anyone mistreat us. And truth number four, you can love people and still choose you. And I think that's a big one is we can love others, but I got you, Maisha. But we can choose others, but still love ourselves. It's okay. And I think that's where sometimes, again, as nurturers, we're like, okay, well, if I buy myself this and I don't do that, then they're not going to think no, it's not about, everything is not about everybody else. It's okay to love yourself, take care of yourself, and just, you know, and it's not an arrogant thing. It's not a selfish thing. And maybe it is a little selfish to love upon yourself more and have a healthier mind and get your energy and your vibration right before you can do for others. It's okay to take care of yourself. Um, so, what's one small choice you can make today that says, I choose me? So, we're going to take a minute and think about that. But I would really love to see that one thing that each of you is going to do for yourselves starting today that says, it's clear as a day. I choose me. There's no mistaken, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. What's that one thing and that small choice you can make today that says, I choose me? So take a second if you need it, take two, and think about it. But what's that one small thing that one thing that you can choose to do today that says, I choose me? So for me, I've learned to set my phone on a timer, and after a certain time, it doesn't ring, it doesn't text. Now, of course, there's certain if they need to get through, they know how to, you know, it's set so that important people, and not to say that most people in my life I feel aren't important, they are, but there's a few people that can get through even when I've gone to bed. The phone will ring and give me an alert. Um, so that was a big thing for me because I felt like I had to keep my phone on and the ringer on to make sure that if anybody called that they needed anything, they needed an ear to chew on, or whatever the case may be. Um, I was making sure that I was that person that you phone a friend and I'm there. And I still try to be there. But if I'm unavailable because I have something that I plan to do for myself, I'm going to do that thing for myself. So, what about any of you all? Have you thought about that one choice or that small choice you can make today that says, I choose me? Just experiencing me time. I found it very relaxing and so necessary. Yeah, so we're going to give Regina a hand because that's a big thing. Sometimes you like me. What's me? You, that woman in the mirror. That's me. So that's awesome. Maisha Donna T. What's that one small choice you're gonna make that says, "I choose me"? It could be walking around the park. It could be sitting out front if you have like an area where you can sit out front and just listen to the sounds of nature around you. It could be taking that bubble bath once a week and closing the door and even locking it if you need to make sure nobody disturbs you. Um, it could be writing in your journal at a set time in the morning when you have your coffee. Put your earplugs in so can nobody disturb you, and just those are things we make choices, and because that's what it's all about is making a choice to put yourself as a priority. Because if you don't put yourself as a priority, who else is going to? Right? So let's see. Hey, Barbara, you said choosing boundaries and knowing it's okay to say no. Amen. That's a huge one. Those boundaries. That's when we go back to the one book that I don't know if anyone purchased it, but this book is amazing. If you haven't gotten it yet, I tell you, you should. It's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Just and take your time. And I think last week we were talking about family, and one of the chapters in here is boundaries and family. So if you got the book, or I don't know if it's on like Amazon Kindle, but if it is and you were able to get it, did you take a look at that particular one? Since last week we were talking about family. And if you didn't, that's fine. But I still recommend the book. It's just a great book. And they also, like I mentioned, they have other books about boundaries and things like that. So, like, um, just to pivot for a minute. So, they have, like, what are boundaries? They have boundary conflicts, like boundaries and your friends, boundaries and your spouse, boundaries in work, boundaries in yourself. So boundaries in God. And then it has a section, part 3, where you're learning to develop healthy boundaries. So if boundaries is something that you struggle with, it's an amazing, amazing book. Um, and so, like you said, I'm currently juicing, and that's really amazing to do. I like to juice as well, and I and sometimes just eating healthy. Sometimes people may tease you and things like that, but eating healthy is a choice that is also putting you first. You know. Um, Okay, Maisha, hopefully you do have it and just check it out. Just read a little bit at a time. But it's um, there's something in it for pretty much every situation. Nothing beats scripture, but that book is really, really good, and it's an easy book to read. So, um, I'm still keeping that on my reading corner because I think it's just an amazing book. Maybe in the next couple of weeks, I'll recommend another book. Um, and if there's anything you all like and want to explore different, if you're a reader, um, drop it in here or send me a text and let me know. I'm a bookaholic, so I have all kinds of books, literally all kinds of books. I don't know if it's on Kindle. I'll double check. I have the hard copy because certain books I just need to be able to flip through the pages and put a pin in it and highlight and all that stuff. And it's fine on Kindle, but I don't remember if this is on Kindle or not. But we can chat. And if anyone already knows and can let T know, that would be awesome. Um, so so just kind of, what does self worth mean to you? What does self worth mean to you? And even if you don't want to comment here, again, in your time when you're just sitting there relaxing, and you think back on this conversation, just think about what does that really mean to you, and that'll help you navigate some of those situations that might come about that you need, you just know you need to do something different and you're not putting yourself first. And then, what's one belief you're ready to release? What's that one belief that you're ready to release? It doesn't have to be anything huge, it could be something small. And if you've been telling yourself, you know, oh, I'm not this, no, I am amazing. I am strong. I am confident. Because when you say I am, that's what your mind hears. And when you say it out loud, when you start to believe it, you'll receive it. So we're not going to say anything that we don't want to come back to us, right? So just remember those types of things but definitely, what's one belief you're ready to release? Anything you've been saying about yourself, or um, just it and you'd be amazed at how little something as small as, oh, I'm just lazy. You're not lazy. You just don't want to do it at that moment. But what you speak about, you bring about. I truly believe that. So we just need to be mindful um, of those types of things. Yes, positive self-talk is extremely, extremely important, Maisha. It definitely is. And then, who in your life inspires you to keep choosing you? Do you have anyone in your life that you feel, it could be, someone that you listen to, it could be a gospel singer, it could be a country singer. Is there anybody in your life that keeps inspiring you to choose yourself? Um, I have some really good friends, and most of you are here. Um, and yes, that's awesome, Donna. That's your husband, because that's what you need. You just need somebody that inspires you, not all necessarily by their words, but their actions. Because as we know, sometimes words don't mean anything to some people. It's just something for them to say. But, just the way that they move or just the way that they treat you, it just inspires you to keep loving on yourself. And if they're loving on you and there's no questions asked and it's unconditional, then, hey, that could be your inspiration as to why you continue to do what you do. You say, I may not be perfect, but I deserve respect and kindness. Amen. None of us are perfect. We work to become exceptional human beings, but there is only one perfect person. And we know when we wake up in the morning, it just starts a new day. We're thankful and we're grateful. But, you know, that's why he died on the cross. Because he knew that we were not going to be perfect and that we would make mistakes. So, but yep. And then how are you creating a legacy of self respect for the next generation? Because this generation coming up now, um, I think that this gentle parenting, um, I don't know, and what that even means. Honestly, I mean, I hear people say it, but I don't know what it means. And sometimes I think people take their hands off, and the kids, they don't know how to navigate through some of those waters that we just kind of have an expectation for them to do. For me and mine, I want them to see my actions, the love that I shared, how I treat them, so that my goal, my prayer is that they'll learn to treat others the way that one, they want to be treated, but with respect. And you'll learn your boundaries. You, you know, just because there's ugliness doesn't mean you have to be ugly with people. And just to be right, to be an example, um, and the right example, right? Because we know there's some people that are not always the best example, but for all that are on here, you all are all amazing, and you definitely work hard to show and share that love that you have within for those that are around you. So we just need to keep doing that. Each and every one of you is already amazing, and your legacy, if they continue to watch, they're going to be just as amazing, if not more. And you say, walk away from disrespect and treat the way you want to be treated. Speak positively. Amen. I agree. I definitely agree with that. So, anyone else? Anyone else? So, as you know, if you've been coming, stand on your values. And that's a very good one. Yep, that's an excellent one. Excellent one. So, as you know, from day one or from episode one, I give a little challenge based on what we've talked about. And, it's to me, it's just something fun to do, to move, and for you to have something to think about during the week. Um, but this week, our legacy challenge is I commit to choosing me by, and then fill in the blank. And as we say, write it, post it, share it with someone you love, live it intentionally. And the key word in that is live it is intentional. Be intentional about loving yourself. Be intentional about setting your boundaries and not allowing people to disturb your peace or, cross those boundaries, and being able to communicate to them with love, um, if they cross those boundaries, because we can do it. It's, again, everything that we do in this life is a choice. So we can choose to be happy, we can choose to be glad, we can choose to be mad. Those things no one can give you or take, or can give you or take from you and change how you behave. Those things come from within. So again, this week I commit to choosing me by dot dot dot. And whatever that is, write it, get it down deep down in your spirit, down in your soul, as our grandparents used to say. Um, and just be intentional about loving yourself and your self worth, and not allowing anyone to, you know, come in and just push you along, um, because of whatever they have going on. That's just not how we working. We are not finishing the last half of this year with that kind of foolishness, right? So, um, if you haven't already done it, as I say, I have a community on Facebook, Empower Beauty Collective. I'd love if you join it if you haven't already. We have some fun, talk about beauty, wellness, confidence, and things of that nature. And then, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel so that you get notified. I know that Donna was saying that it wasn't notifying her, so it may be something I need to do, but I'll work on that so that if you turn your notifications on, you'll know when I'm going live. Because again, being intentional, I'm going to do this every week on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Even if I have to sit here and talk to myself, I'm gonna do it. I made a promise to myself that I was going to. In a few weeks, we will probably have start having guests. I've asked people if they wouldn't mind joining me, to have, to just share their story or their testimony or how they've grown. Um, so if you feel like you want to be someone that does that with me, I'd love it. I welcome it. Um, and before I give our declaration, does anyone have anything else they want to share? Or um, if there's a book that you're looking for, you feel like, you just need something different, let me know. Like I said, right now, Roxy's Reading Corner is still on Boundaries because I just love that book. But and probably in mid-August, I'll switch and share another book that resonates with me, and about positivity and keeping your mind right and in the right posture. Um, Anything else anyone wants to share? And I truly appreciate you all showing up and sharing and just showing love and giving positivity to others, each other. I want this community for those of us who, for whatever reason, for years were hiding our truth. Um, for whatever reason, it could have been because you just didn't know how to share it. You just didn't know if it, how people were going to look at you if you did share it. But that's okay, because this is a safe place. And I want everyone to be able to stand in their truth, with me as I go on this journey. So I just wanted to tell you that I truly appreciate you, and feel free to welcome. I'm currently reading In Business and in Dating by J.T. Boyd. Okay, you'll have to let me know how you're liking it so far. I don't need the dating part, but um, um, but let me know how you're liking it. You can always text me or call me and let me know what you think about it. So, but so my closing declaration for today is: you are not starting over. You are standing on a foundation someone helped build. Their wisdom still walks beside you, their love still lives within you. The greatest way to honor their legacy is through the life you continue. She still shines. So that's it for today. Again, I'm so glad that you all came and took time out of your busy lives. And I know some people are probably getting ready to go to sleep so they can get up, go to work in the morning. But I love each and every one of you. Please feel free to share the link and the information if there's anything that you want to talk about. Um, it's about uplifting one another and just continuing to grow. And again, having a safe place. So I love you all. Have an amazing night. And I will see you next week. Bye.